Welcome back. This episode is going to be about procrastination because it is a huge problem for all of my clients. I can't think of a single client really, apart from the odd one here or there, but most of my clients suffer or struggle with procrastination at the beginning when they work with me. And so I know that it is a big issue for people out there, especially in the modern day world of so many distractions, and it's easy to put things off. And so I'm going to talk about procrastination on two levels today: surface level procrastination and what to do about it, and the more deeper reasons behind procrastination. So it's one of those episodes where I would say grab a pen and paper because, well, all of them actually depends on your intention when you're listening to me. If you're listening just for enjoyment's sake or just out of interest, then fine, just listen and enjoy. But if you actually want to change your life, then you need to be an active listener, taking notes and implementing the advice that I give. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. So let's get started. First of all, I just want to highlight that it's probably common knowledge, maybe not, I don't know, but procrastination is a lot worse when you're tired. And that is something I've experienced literally today. I came to record this earlier and then ran out of time because I recorded a story about it and then put the story up and then ran out of time to film the episode. Then, just a ridiculous amount of procrastination going on. And it's because I had a bad night's sleep last night. So it's definitely worse when you are tired. And if you need any help on your sleep, then go and listen to last week's episode if you haven't heard it already. Hopefully help you sort things out in terms of your sleep. But let's get into procrastination. Why? Actually, not why we do it. First of all, I'm going to talk about surface level procrastination. And so it's, of course, the things that we put off. And so I would, first of all, just give you a few practical tips that you can implement to cut down on sort of surface level procrastination. So first of all, are you using a to-do list with a million different things on there? Because if your to-do list has too many things on there and you feel like you never ever get to the end of it, then that's the wrong mindset to have. And it's probably the mindset that most people have unless you come across this absolute game changer of the micro to-do list. And so the reason why a normal to-do list is not great is because you rarely ever get to the end of it on a day-to-day basis. And so you always have this feeling that you have never done enough, even though you always overplan on what you can achieve in the time given. And so your brain naturally will focus on the negative, the one thing that you didn't do, instead of all the things that you have done. So instead of having one big to-do list, I present to you the idea of the micro to-do list. Now, this revolutionized my world when I started using it last year, and I would love to credit where it came from. I have no idea. I don't know if it's my idea or whether I've got it from somewhere, but who knows? I'm just going to let that one slide. But a micro to-do list has 3 things on it and 3 things only. Now, the reason why it's only got 3 things on it is because it makes it so much more achievable to get to the end of it. And so the idea is that you just put 3 things on your micro to-do list, nothing more, nothing less. And you don't move on to anything else until those 3 things are done. And what happens then is when you complete those 3 things, in your brain, you get a release of feel-good chemicals, the achievement hormone. And so you gain momentum. And it's like you feel like, yes, I've done it. What can I do next? And you've got that momentum and off you go. You create yourself a new micro to-do list. And then you've done that one. And then you've got even more momentum. And then you make your next one. So by the end of the day, you've actually achieved so much and created momentum and feel-good chemicals every time you finished a micro to-do list, rather than doing everything but one on the one big to-do list and then feeling like you've not done enough at the end of the day. So it's just a different way of thinking about the to-do list. And personally, for me, and also a lot of my clients who started using it, it's been an absolute game changer. So there's that. The next thing actually is only something that I've started using really recently, and actually I love it. It's something called a Pomodoro timer. And all it is, like, there's probably apps and things, but I literally just open an internet tab and Pomodoro timer, and it comes up like a free internet version. 25 minutes timer, and it will count down. And at the end of the 25 minutes, you get a 5-minute break and it will count down. And then you start your next 25 minutes. And the idea is that your brain will only be at maximum or optimum function for 25 minutes before you need a rest. And so it keeps things small rather than trying to work for like a solid hour and then get distracted. 25 minutes feels so much more achievable. And personally, I've found it really helpful to have that. Every time I need to get something important done, I stick that on, put my phone sort of out of sight, get rid of the distractions. My phone's always on silent anyway, and I have my notifications off. I think those are kind of very good tips to do if you suffer with procrastination too. So those are kind of a given in my world, but maybe not for you. So yeah, that's that. Pomodoro timer. Yep, it's great. I think Pomodoro is Italian for tomato, and I have no idea where or why that comes from, or like where or how it has come about. Probably should have looked at, but whatever. Pomodoro timer, game changer. Next one. I've put look after yourself first, because if you get up and you immediately start your to-do list and you've not done anything for yourself to make you feel good, then it's just like there's no motivation there. Do something fun, even if it's just put on music whilst you get dressed, whatever it is. Like bring music into your life. That's the most simple way to shift the energy and help you feel good. Have a happy playlist if you don't have one, or just put songs from the 90s on or whatever, like whatever floats your boat. Just do something for you. Like don't just start work, because you're onto a losing battle if you're just like up and starting your to-do list straight away and always looking after everybody else and everybody else's priorities and never actually giving yourself the chance to do something fun. It's just, yeah, you're not going to be in your intellectual mind. You're not going to be in the best place to actually, you're not going to feel motivated. As simple as that. So do something fun for yourself before you get down to working on whatever it is that's on your to-do list. So those are kind of like the surface level things I wanted to talk about with regards to procrastination. And then this next bit goes quite a lot deeper, because a lot of my clients struggle with procrastination. And the thing is, the start of their work with me, they're just too far in their primitive brain. They can't see the wood from the trees. Their stress buckets are too full. There's brain fog, there's overthinking, there is all sorts going on, a reliance on coping mechanisms, a complete lack of feel good chemicals flowing, and stress bucket being too full. Often their sleep is an issue too, so they're low on energy because they're not sleeping well. Like all of these things are making life hard for you. And so, of course, you're going to be procrastinating more. So, number one priority is to get yourself out of your primitive brain, out of survival mode, and living life in your intellectual mind. Because when you are living life from your intellectual mind, then it becomes surface level procrastination, and things like the micro to-do list and the Pomodoro timer and the quick bit of looking after yourself first will give you the energy and the motivation that you need to just crack on. So, yeah, if you are recognizing that you're just really struggling, or you're relying on coping mechanisms a lot, like if you're emotionally eating, or if you're using alcohol as a crutch, or like your screen time is through the roof, whatever it is as a coping mechanism for you, if your coping mechanisms have got a hold on you, then chances are procrastination is going to be a big issue for you too. And I've had clients who work with me that have got really big priorities in life that they are just procrastinating on, things for the tax man and, really important life admin that they're just not getting around to because they don't have the headspace to actually focus and get on with it, because life is too much of a struggle. And so it's really important to work on yourself first. And if that involves getting help and support to do so, i.e., working with me or whoever, then that needs to happen, because living life in your primitive brain, for one, you're not going to be happy living there in survival mode. But number two, it's not good for your physical health, your long-term physical health. Anyways, I'm going too far into this. So let me just signpost you to some different episodes to give you more clarity and understanding of the things I've just mentioned. So primitive brain, intellectual mind, for more about that, go and listen to I Have a Caveman Brain. Other ones to help you get out of your primitive brain are How to Boost Your Mood Away from Negativity. And also other good episodes to listen to are ones like Positivity, Up-Level Your Joy, Sleep, all of them basically. There are really important bits of information in every single episode. I don't know if you'll get this 90s reference, but it's all killer, no filler. Oh, I'm so cool. Right, next one. Lack of clarity. Some of my clients will be struggling with procrastination because they actually don't know what their next move is. They are lacking clarity. And this can be down to a job move or a personal, like, life relationship type decision, all sorts. And if you need clarity, then it's going to be your subconscious mind that is going to give you that clarity. Your subconscious mind is your zone of genius. But if you are firefighting, like if you are living life in your primitive brain, then your brain is just trying to keep you alive. It's not going to be focusing on like finding solutions for you. It's going to be firefighting and trying to cope with your high amounts of things in your stress bucket. And so it's number one priority, get your stress bucket levels down, and then you can have more headspace, literally more headspace, to find the clarity that you need and to tune in to self trust and intuition to give you the answers that are right for you. Next one. Are you procrastinating on doing something that just isn't aligned to you? Let's have a look at the things that you're procrastinating on. Number one, do you actually need to do it? Is it a priority for you, or are you feeling resistance because it's not your thing? Like, are you people pleasing too much here? Everybody's going to hear this and this is going to land in a different way for different people, but notice what's on your to-do list. Is it aligned? Is it something that you actually want to do? Is it something that you actually need to do? Just do a little assessment here. And if it's not something that you actually need to do, then like get rid. You don't need that pressure in your life. Like save yourself a job, save yourself some time, save yourself some mental energy. Get rid. You don't need to do it. Next one. Oh, yeah. I really want to talk specifically to entrepreneurs here because procrastination and specifically self sabotage is huge in the entrepreneur world. We all have limiting beliefs. You know, people, if you don't have to have your own business to have your own limiting beliefs, everybody has got them. But when you are an entrepreneur, it puts a magnifying glass up to any of those limiting beliefs you have because it holds you back. Your business is a reflection of who you are. And if the way you feel about yourself has quite a few negative limiting beliefs in there, then it's going to hold you back in the way of fear of judgment or fear of charging your worth, fear of being authentic online, all sorts of different fears. And it can massively hold you back so much. So if you are procrastinating in your business, in whatever action you know that you want to take, logically you know is the right move for you and it feels aligned, but there's resistance for you, then ask yourself why. What is the limiting belief that you need to work on? And think about how you're going to do that work because it's never going to go away unless you do the inner work. And for more on that, I've just released a couple of weeks ago, released an episode or two episodes actually on business owner mindset. So specifically for you, if you are an entrepreneur, if you've not listened to those episodes, go and have a little listen. So I think, is that all we need to talk about? There was something that came up just now while I was talking. This wasn't it, but like a little analogy for you. When you do something that you've been putting off for ages, it's like a metaphorical leaky tap that's been on in your stress bucket, just niggling away in the background of your mind. It's like the leaky tap gets switched off. So that's nice. What can you do today that you've just been putting off? Because often our brain will magnify how much time something takes or how much energy it feels like you're going to need to do a particular task. But if you actually just get on and do that, like put a playlist on or put a 10-minute timer on, however long you need, put that timer on and just crack on. Most of the time you'll be like, how did I put that off for so long? It really wasn't a big deal when I just got down to it. And the other thing I was going to say, yes, a big reason why we procrastinate, well, the only reason why we procrastinate is our brain is designed to keep us alive. Its number one priority is to keep you safe. And so if you need to do something that is a little bit different or is a little bit out of your comfort zone, even on the tiniest level, then your brain is going to magnify the risk of that. Especially, let's talk about entrepreneurs again. If you need to do something in your business, it's the next step. Maybe it's talking on stories, showing your face, doing a reel, whatever it is, then your brain is going to magnify the risk of that massively because it's different to what you're doing now. And anything different to what you're doing now represents a risk. And why would your brain let you do that? Of course it won't, because it's designed to keep you safe and alive. And the idea of doing something different than what you're doing already is unknown. So it's not going to let you do that. It's going to try and stop you from doing that. And so it will magnify the risk. And this is the sort of barrier that whenever a client gets to work with me, this is the barrier that they've overcome. And most of the time, you stay stuck and unhappy and just not living your best life for far too long. And this is because your brain is designed to keep you alive and it doesn't care about your happiness. You know that you want to get some help or support to work through whatever issues that you have. It might be that you want to work with me, and you've been sitting there waiting for the right moment to message me for weeks now. I've had clients say that to me and they just wish they'd done it sooner, because just know that your brain is trying to stop you from doing that, because anything different than how you're feeling now is unknown and it wants to keep you safe. And so even if you know something is going to be good for you, it will try and hold you back. So whenever somebody works with me, they've overcome that. And I'm always very excited on a discovery call because, well, for starters, we talk about what the issues are. And then we talk about, okay, how would you like your life to be instead? What would be different? What would you change? And that's solution focused. And you can see the other person looking and feeling better just at the idea of what could be different. And of course, I've done this for a lot of people now. I know I can see somebody's potential on a discovery call. I can see what it's going to be like for them a few months down the line, and it's so, so different. And so, of course, that's really exciting for me. So thank you for listening once again. And especially thank you if you've written down notes and you have committed to doing something differently today to get a handle on your procrastination. You can get so much more out of life when you commit to a change. So let me know, what is it you found helpful today? What are you going to be implementing? Come and speak to me. I would love to find out more about who my listeners are. I know that I have a really good following of committed podcast listeners every single Tuesday. The listener counts are high and I don't know who you are, so come and say hi. Over on Instagram is where I hang out mainly. I'm at Believe and Achieve with Jenna. Or if you're not on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, send me an email, whatever. I would love to hear from you. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I will see you all next week. Bye. My mission with this podcast and why I started it was to serve. And so I really hope that everything I've shared with you today and in previous episodes is serving you and helping you to change your life. It requires consistent action. It requires effort. But if you're willing to put in the work, then you can absolutely change a great deal just by listening to me and implementing my advice. However, if you're listening and you would like to work with me, then obviously I work too. I do solution-focused hypnotherapy and much more, and my program is called Change Your Life, and it's a program that I'm really proud of. So if you're interested in this and would like some more information about how it works and whether it would be right for you, then do get in touch with me via the information in the show notes. Thanks again for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to share it with a friend or stick it up on stories on Instagram and tag me at Believe and Achieve with Jenna. See you next week.